So one of the issues we have with many facilities today is that the control rooms have evolved into the state that they're in today. They're often existing panel rooms or other types of environments that have been transformed to control rooms and really do not meet the needs of the operators and the people working in them. A good example comes to mind is a power utility company up in the northeast of the US. Back in 2003 there was a blackout that affected the northeast and up into Canada, and when the regulatory body looked at the causes of the problem, it essentially came down to the operator, or the controller in their case, didn't have situation awareness. So as the issue propagated from a single outage in a utility box somewhere in their system across the whole of their network, they weren't able to follow the propagation path. They weren't able to diagnose what was happening and what would happen next. So their impetus really was to say, let's redesign our control room to make sure the operators have that visualization, have those tools available to them, and can stay engaged with them to help them understand those situations and follow them and correct them as they happen. So situational awareness really has three components. So it's the ability to be able to detect a situation happening. So you can see that something is changing or something has happened, or it may be an alarm or some other trigger in the process. Being able to diagnose what that problem is. So I've had an issue, but what's the root cause of it? And then direct me to action. So what is the response to that? So situational awareness is the ability to be able to roll those things together and effectively respond to those sorts of incidents or happenings. Emerson's Control and Operator Performance Center of Excellence provides a whole range of services that basically helps clients understand what are the best practices around control room design and other elements of situation awareness, and how to put those into practice. So we start from something as simple as education, where we go in and teach those best practices, make sure that all the stakeholders on the project understand the principles and the way that we apply them, and then we help them develop standards and move into the conceptual design phase or other phases of the control room design. As a team, we look at all those higher level type of principles and say, how do we apply them all together? How do we bring them together? There's a good framework and an international standard, ISO 11064, which basically leads us through that process and says, this is the way you should go about designing a control room. These are the steps that you go through. This is the task analysis that you do. This is the conceptual design. So we follow that standard to make sure that we capture those best practices. We recognise there's many different types of facilities, many different types of control rooms, and there's no one fit solution for everybody. There's some very specific issues that I'm sure you've addressed and resolved. We'd love to hear what those are, and if there are any other tips and tools that you may have that could help us.